Welcome to Beards and Games with Aaron and Alan. I'm Alan Blunt,
Hello, I'm Aaron.
and we're going to talk about role-playing games, miniature games, games in general, stuff that we like doing that's eclectic enough to keep our attention.
We're nerds.
Yes, yes, glasses, beards. Hey, there is a look, bald.
I was about to make the joke.
Oh, I'm
Seriously,
sorry.
Alan? I'm like, okay, I gotta wait for my moment. No, Alan took the joke. Thank you, Alan.
I'm sorry. We do have shine coming off the tops of our heads.
Yeah.
And we're of that age. How was your week, man? What'd you get into?
Oh boy, very tiring. It is my mandatory weekend at work. Luckily, I didn't have to do 2 days, so I actually got to sleep in Saturday, but had to wake up early today. Luckily, it wasn't that bad of a day. But other than that, I have just been working on the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel will officially be going live tomorrow as of this recording. Just mostly that, but I did see some cool freaking news on my Kickstarter end. Mage's War, the arcane punk sci-fi versus magic Kickstarter I backed a long time ago, is about to go into its survey. And officially should be out by the end of next month. They actually just sent out what they called the smoke survey to test the backer kit survey out. Only 5% of the backers got it. I was one of them, so I quickly put it in. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been wanting this for about a year now. Well, actually a little bit more, since they gave me the beta rule book to talk about on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
Yeah, it is great also because the entire Kickstarter came with hundreds of STL files, and I've already got them all.
Just took a little bit there. STL files. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if you're releasing a role-playing game and you have a specific genre and you have a specific feel, a line of STLs to go with that is amazing. You don't have to guess, try to sub anything in. There it is, printable, available to you.
Yeah, Critical Crafting, all of their PDFs that they sell on their website have correlating STL files for everything in it. And it's all
Nice.
amazing. And it's not just for that game. They gave me STL files for their entire line. I have Spinosauruses from their dinosaur riding line. I have a quasi Leviathan from Farscape. Isn't a giant ship, but it can carry 5 people in it.
Wow. See, that's neat stuff.
Uh-huh.
That's really neat. That is
Yeah.
excellent. Leviathan, Farscape. I haven't heard the word Farscape, I think in over a decade now.
Well, it shows how much we don't talk, because I mention it about once a month. It is my nerd love. It's my genre. Star Trek is cool. Star Wars is cool. I will choose Farscape any day. John Crichton forever.
Okay. Ben Browder, Claudia Black, Gigi Edgley. I'm possibly spitting out names here. Only some old people will remember. But,
For you who don't know what Farscape is, it's the TV series that James Gunn ripped off for Guardians of the Galaxy. And this is not my personal opinion. This is an honest quote from him. Ben Broder actually went up to him like, "You stole my show." And instantly James Gunn like, "Yes, sir, I did. Would you like a part in the next one?"
Whoa. Okay.
Ben Broder is in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and the second I saw that, I went, you don't put Ben Broder in anything unless you are a Farscape fan. I'm like, James Gunn is a Farscape fan, and yeah, he is a Farscape fan.
Has to be, has to be. If you ever get the chance, believe me, you'll be able to find it on YouTube. Look up Farscape. When the Sci-Fi Channel used to have good writing, and they put in these new, fresh writers, and they had the budget to give you effects. Farscape was everything. It also had Jim Henson love in there. So yes, Rigel and the Navigator, and I'm possibly young people. I'm sorry.
Here's another fun fact. James McAvoy almost quit acting until Claudia Black and James Broder, God damn it, James Broder, Ben Broder, came up to him and convinced him to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Good.
actually admitted this because his first acting job was the horrible Dune sci-fi movie. And because Ben Broder and Claudia Black were huge, huge sci-fi channel stars, they got sent to the premiere, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." And they saw McAvoy, being like depressed in the corner, and they were like, let's go talk to him. So they uplifted his spirit, and then years later he actually said that was a big moment for him because it really made him go, what do I want to do in my career? And he actually thanked them.
Wow. James McAvoy. If he had stopped, we'd have never gotten the Beast
Oh yeah,
from Split. We
Split's
would have never
amazing.
we'd have gotten that character from Wanted. Remember the curving bullets?
Oh god, I hate that movie. It's not even that great of a comic book. And they
It's
didn't
not.
even they butchered it for a movie. Like there's almost nothing connecting the movie and comic.
The movie is completely from the left of the comic that was made.
Yeah.
So if you've never read the comic, you're going to enjoy the movie. If you've never read the comic, if you read the comic, you're going to be mad. You're going to be angry. It's like, this is not what I expected.
It's been out long enough. All the comic book fans are literally going, what the hell? They have been for years now.
Okay, but James McAvoy, Morgan Freeman, Angelina Jolie, bullets, acrobatics, and gun dueling, curving
Physics that
bullets.
mean no sense. And and the ultimate like instant win for me for a movie, Morgan Freeman says, "Mother effer." Like, I
Yes,
love it when that man cusses. I don't know why, but I love it.
yes. Kill this. When he let a little bit of Samuel Jackson out of him. Sorry, that's what happened to Morgan Freeman.
So how
Uh,
was your week, sir?
my week, okay. Well, I caught up on all the large printing orders. I do STL printing on the side as my hustle, and I'm now at a good catch-up point in which I can start working on personal projects. And on top of my personal projects, I'm putting together events for Origins Game Fair here in Columbus, Ohio. Aaron will be part of that group. And I was contacted by Pinnacle Entertainment Group to get in contact with Studio 2 Publishing, which publishes all of their books, and they're going to be running a game room. And what's going to end up happening is that any games I'm running that they publish, they want me in the room to show people how to play. So, hey, I'll be taking my Savage World Star Wars and my Savage Wars Tales of Seven Dwarfs, possibly into a room with Studio 2 Publishing. I'm trying to see if I can drag Aaron into there with me, so he can go ahead and run his 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do 4 games this year, but it's like, nah, I'll do the 2 role-playing games ones, and I'll do the 1 miniature-based one, which is going to be a Call to Arms Starfleet Battles, in which will be Klingon D7s versus Federation. And in this game, you get to keep what you kill. So if you destroy an enemy ship, you get to keep that model. Not the one that you destroyed that I painted. But you get the, but you'll get but you'll get the same scale model to it. So you can take home and do whatever you want with it. So a keep what you kill event, you get something for paying and playing. Uh, Other things I've been working on and that have been interesting me has been Kickstarters that have come out, that are coming out. One, Traveler. Traveler is coming out with rules for use with the fifth edition D&D system. So, Traveler, all the way back from the 70s and gone through about basically several mutations, has now come up with a new D20 Traveler, but they've integrated the fifth edition D&D rules into them. Look them up. That's Kickstarter. That's going to be starting shortly. Since basically the algorithm found me in there and said, "Hey, you're a guy who collects Traveler but never plays it," they came to me. And if you want technicality, if you want technical aspects of science fiction, Traveler will scratch your niche. It will. It will. Another Kickstarter came out was Deadlands 30th anniversary, in which they're entering the rules of Savage Worlds directly into the Deadlands companion, complete with all upgrades, and they're also going to give you special conviction coins, actual metal coins, custom made dice for it, and what got me dragged into it, leather bound edition. You can catch me on the leather bound. They know what catnip to shake in front of me. Yes. Don't take anything else from it. I just like a leather bound book. Okay, stop laughing at me.
I'm just getting flashbacks to comments you've made in the past. I'm not going to say anything more than that.
Leather bound. Yes. Okay. uh, but other than that, it's good feeling getting caught up with the side hustle, uh, and starting to print jobs of my own, and also come up with a way to satisfy my printer issues, in which, after a printer runs for about a year or so, it starts to fail. So instead of having to argue with the insurance company, I've just come to the point, I'm just going to go ahead and do self repair on it. Uh, there are videos, they have the equipment to do it. And I swear to God, if I could find somebody to actually do the physical work, I'll pay them to do it. I'll even give you a 3D printer. Uh, because there's just so much, and I've got meaty fingers. If I could find somebody with thin fingers that can get inside these little fiddly bits and not drop stuff or possibly end up with stuff in their food, uh, I I would happily go that particular direction.
I was
Oh,
actually, it's funny. My wife was actually talking about like, how would you do like a business using a 3D printer? And I'm like, why? She just was thinking about like, well, what about a side hustle? I'm like, for you? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you want to do? Because I'm like, are you talking like 40K stuff? She's like, actually, no. Um, so my wife, who I love very much and I will never judge, was the sarcasm present in that? I don't know. But my wife loves
no.
sexy statues. And there's an entire oh, I'm gonna need
Yep, I
another
know.
hard drive for all of them.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
I
And I
know.
mean like 40K sexy statues and all of that. I have unfinished Slanesh right up there waiting for me to put her together because I accidentally used. I'm like, I'm gonna try this new resin that our dear friend Hyde gave me, not realizing it's only good for small bits. Yeah, it takes extra long. Like, this is a miniature printed around the same time. Took
Right.
less than a day. Put it in the UV light, it was fine. Slanesh was tacky and sticky for months because of how thick the pieces are.
What's about what size? What size is the statue?
Um, well, I was about to grab some parts so you could figure it out, but I'm no, no, we want
Okay.
to be monetized.
Well, well,
It's about 6 inches.
6 inches. Okay, if you're going to
Yeah,
be
about 6 to 7 inches.
okay, if you're going to be doing 6-inch models, you want to switch to FDM because it you don't have to worry about curing
Hmm.
with FDM, which is filament printing.
Hmm.
Um,
Which is
it's
why there's a microfilament right over there.
it's faster.
Hmm.
The only drawbacks is that if something goes wrong in the printing process, you end up with a lot of thin string
Yes.
glued together or adhered together, which isn't hard to clean up. It's scrape and toss.
Hmm.
Resin has a problem with curing on the inside, depending on the thickness of the model,
Yeah.
as well as the time it takes to print up that many layers on a resin printer.
Hmm. Like
Uh,
the
and
normal resin printer I have, which is too small for statues,
mhm.
I can print out the pieces on that, but it would take way too long and they dry perfectly. The bigger printer, on the other hand, the resin I am using, not good for it. The wife did find me some new resin to try. I just have to try it still. But we have the microfilament right over there, and it's going to be for that. That's where the wife instantly went, hey, that's what I would use if I wanted to sell statues.
Yeah.
And I explained, hey, you just need to contact the creator. You need to get, they do this type of stuff where they will allow you to sell their stuff, but you just have to talk to them. I can't remember the exact deal. I've looked it up just as I was interested to know it, not that I wanted to do it. But that being said, yeah, we quickly realized like we'll just switch to a microfilament for the statues just so I
Oh yeah.
can use my resin to print my 40K minis and D&D minis.
Oh yes.
Mhm.
Because it's a great toy, but if you want
Mhm.
to go into business, mm, I've got no more hair to pull out. Ex- Except that's on the front of my face, and I got to keep this, or I'll look completely weird. Um, Not that I don't have a gigantic owl bear in the back of me right now. Okay.
Oh, but since we're talking about resin printers, this is funny. So this miniature right here that I showed, I need to paint it. I really do. I love the miniature. It never moves from my desk. So this is from Raging Heroes.
Right.
Um, and I'm putting it up against the white background so everyone can get a better chance to notice something. These are two arms and a sorceress staff. And of course, it is their version of a Zinch priestess for
Right.
Chaos Space Marines.
Right.
Years ago, they had a program that you could suggest miniatures. So I gave them the description of a very particular Zinch priestess
Okay.
with 3 arms, a staff, and barely clothed. And I also described a hood. I wanted feathers, which, oh, look, she has a hood and a feather cloak. The second I saw this, me and the wife were literally watching the reveal for the YouTube channel. I dead stopped. I'm like, that's the mini I wanted them to create for you.
That
Oh
is
my
cool.
God.
That's cool.
Oh yeah.
That
Like,
they
I
custom.
don't know if it's actually like, I know the whole deal was they would design it and you'd pay for it and they would keep the design. And
Right.
frankly, I don't know if maybe one of them kept the notes that I sent them, or it's just, of course, you would have a Zinch priestess with 3 arms. But the fact that I now have a mini that is identical to the one I envisioned years ago for the
Hmm.
wife, it's awesome. I love Raging Heroes and stuff.
Yep. I'm printing up stuff like this tank,
Very nice.
fully resin printed, sticky. Magnets. Magnets, people. Magnets. Stop it. Okay. Nice. Ah. So, what are we going to talk about today, Aaron?
Well, I got something I want to talk about. Do you want to go first or should I go first?
Well, I'm going to go first.
Go right
So,
ahead then. I'll wait.
oh,
I'll save mine as a special surprise.
okay. So, as you notice, every second word out of my mouth has been Savage Worlds. Savage Worlds is Adventure Edition. I want to explain to you the reason I enjoy Savage Worlds. It's my preferred game. It's my preferred game system. I believe it's a great engine. First, let's go over the book here. So the book, I got the wrong book. Anyways, the book. No, I don't. It's right here. Savage Worlds by Pinnacle Entertainment Group. And there's going to be even a closer picture of this up.
I have it
Uh,
saved and ready.
I I got this. I got this in back in 2018 on a Kickstarter, and I didn't start play with it until about maybe 2021, um, when COVID had decided to trap everybody. I had friends in the UK and started playing games with it. The reason I like this book is that it is a fast, easy to learn game system. Um, your characters can be put into any genre. It's gotten to the point in which I listen to a book on tape and it's like I can run that type of game. New fantasy series comes out on TV. I can run that type of game. New science fiction series comes out. I can run that game. New superheroes, new superhero program comes out. I can run this, all using the same game engine. Um, it's not a hit point system. It's basically a skill based system. These are the types of games in which I'll call hit point systems. That's D20 skill based systems. You're looking at things like Star Wars by Westing Games. Um, how this works is basically character creation is very simple. You choose, you have your points, and the GM can help you create any type of ancestry, which Savage Worlds uses. We used to use the word race in Dungeons and Dragons back in the 80s and 90s. For some reason, it took on a negative connotation, but race at that time was being used in the correct aspect. The race of a dwarf is different than the race of an elf. Those are two separate races. That's where it comes down to. When it comes down to subcultures within the race, that's a whole different thing. So you can put together any type of ancestry in this game system. So you want to play an android? It's in here. You want to play an Asimir? It's in here. You want to play an ethereal being? It's in here. Yes, yes, it's all in here. You can put this together and do whatever you like. Um, I've also had the pleasure of knowing some of the writers of this game. One, there's Shane Hensley, which I am proud to say I've known him all the way back from the '90s, and he's genuine. He's a really righteous guy. that personality is reflected across his entire staff. That is, they're people that support. They don't uh, they don't ever treat you in a condescending manner, and they take feedback. It's like, I didn't like what you did with this. It's like, okay, tell me what you didn't like, and how can I help improve this for you? Kind of get shocked with that type of response coming from them, but they're there 24/7, almost for you. I'm not going to say that they'll respond to you immediately, but you're going to get a response. They have a very active Facebook page in which designers will jump in the page and answer questions. I one time made a silly question, and the Game Emperor, which I call Shane, had corrected me on it, and I decided I will never countermand anything you write again. So I'm sorry, he's able to basically flip me on anything he doesn't agree with. But the also the quality of the books they put out. Every main book they give you comes with prestige bounding. There are bookmarker ribbons in them, all three separate colors, and these suckers are built to last. What they've done with the latest iteration of Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, as well as update all the rules and everything, they've come out online. Oh, also another thing, if there's a rules update, it's free. You're told about it. They give you a link to it, and you can go to that link, download it in a nice little page and section, and it'll give you what line they corrected. It'll give you where it can be found in the book. I'll just say it's stellar. The latest Kickstarter that I got from them concerning the core rulebook was an edition in which they gave you a foil covered book. It's a reflective surface, and still with the art on it, still with the ribbons, and gilded pages, silver edge gilded pages. And it's like, that is awesome. When I got my book, there was a small divot in the front of it, like it was up against something hard. So I called up their customer service department. I said, hey, look, it's got my Kickstarter. There was a divot in the front of my book. Is it possible I can just go ahead and return this and get a new one? Well, they said, okay, we'll send you out a new book. It's like, all right. And it's like, so what's the address to mail this back? Oh, no, go ahead and keep it. It's our pleasure to go ahead and take care of the issue. You have a book to give to a friend. And it's like, okay. I've only received customer service like that 3 times in my 60 years. One was Guerrilla Games, in which my rule book for battle stations had a damaged page in it. Well, I went up to the chief operating officer, Jeff Sidek, and it's like, hey, look, this happened with my book here and all of this. He said, we can't have that. Here, take this. And he hit me with a book. And it's like, okay, he even signed it. It's like, all right. That was excellent. Also, Kevin Simbieta. I don't know if I'm saying his last name wrong or not. Kevin Simbieta from Palladium Games. When I was going to his booth, I was telling him how I loved Rifts and how it's had its staying power since 1981. It's just great. And I asked him, is it possible to get that black leather-bound book they came out with? Once again, leather-bound. That black leather-bound book that came out with for Rifts, and with silver foil writing and stitching on it. And he said, well, no, we don't have that anymore, but here, take this. And he gave me the Rifts core book. That's a thick book. But I will say I've been impressed with studio heads who have no issue with, giving you a little bit of lanyard. Now, no, you don't have to give me stuff. It's helpful, but you don't have to give me stuff for me to like you. They could already tell I was a fan when I walked up to them because possibly I have geek once again all over my face. But you'll find that these people are the most approachable at Pinnacle Entertainment Group. They're most approachable. They take feedback. They give immediate responses. Nothing negative. Everything is always seen as a growth moment, and it's been a great community so far. The core book, also what it does for me is that you have your spells in D&D or your sonic powers and cleric this that. What they have is that they have something called powers, and powers have a set stat of what they do, but you get to select what type of trapping it has. They have a power called blast. Blast does so many d6 of damage, but when you choose it, you get to name what you get to you get to name what the actual blast is, like fiery embers of blunt. Okay, all right, or fireball, or if you have a fire trapping, or you can go ahead and say, I want this to be a sonic attack. Okay, it's now a sonic attack. Does the same type of damage, but now there's a particular effect in which it will do in certain environments. You get to give trappings to any of the powers you have. Now, once you set that trapping, it's locked at that. But it's very flexible. Also, when we get to the fantasy companion, which I'll be doing possibly on the next show, their magic section, there's about, I believe, 100 pages dedicated to it. And in this magic section, somebody playing a powerful wizard really evokes a powerful wizard, in which you can take a power and take something called battle magic and affect possibly up to 500 individuals within a 100-yard radius. And you can do things like, I want to lessen everybody's fighting skill by 2 levels. Voop! 500 people are now walking around with their swords saying, I don't know which end to hold. You can also reduce up to 500 people's basic attributes, in which you can lower someone's strength to infant level, lower someone's dexterity, lower someone's smarts, lower someone's skills. It's that flexible a system. Is it overpowered? Of course, I would say no, because when you do something like this, there are penalties to your skill test. To use any of the powers, you have to make a skill roll. You fail the skill roll, okay, you failed the skill roll. You crit fail in the skill roll, something bad happens. But what I do in my game is that if you do a crit fail and you're able to give me a great explanation of what that crit fail does to you, you will earn a Benny. If it's that good, you'll earn a conviction point. That's another thing I like about the system. Bennies, which give you the capability of either changing an aspect of the game with GM's permission, a reroll, except for a crit fail, a reroll on the skill, or a reroll on damage on the skill, to get back power points that powers will use. You got to expend them to spend to throw them, and also the capability of soaking damage that you may take. Conviction point is these are rare. When you use a conviction point, you get a d6 to add to the skill that you're using. You also get a d6 to add to the damage that you do. Not to choose in front of, but to add onto the roll that you make. And the conviction point can also ace also. So the conviction point, if you roll the highest on it like a 6, you get to add another, you get to roll the die again and see if you can get another 6. And you keep going until you don't roll the highest number you get on the die. And you add it together and you throw it in. That has made for some very interesting fights I've been through. But I would say Savage Worlds is worth the read. It's about roughly, let's not do roughly, let's do exact. I've got a book here in front of me. Okay.
It's not really that big.
It's not really that big. It is 208 pages, but it is a complete system within itself. Also, it has a chapter on world settings. That is, do you want high gritty damage? That is, when something hits you, does a limb fall off? Do you want a damage cap in which you'll only take so much damage and that's it? You're not eliminated automatically from the game. You don't keep stacking it. What is it? High magic? Is it low magic? Is it high tech? Is it low tech? The book's well done. There's about, well, I keep saying about. So there are 9 chapters in here. Anytime, any place. Chapter 1, getting started. Chapter 2, characters. Everything in there about putting a character together. Gear. What type of gear you have. Complete rules for it. Then they have the basic mechanics of the rules. Then an adventurer's toolkit, which goes over things from allies all the way to wealth levels. Then they have section on powers. Then they have a bestiary for your beginning. And then they have a game master guide. Then what everybody always begs for is an index, an actual index. You're going to like it. The artwork, tables, beautiful color plates before each chapter, beautiful color plates for each ancestry they have. They also have tables, easy to read, with an explanation in front of each table completely of what happens in that table. It's the game for me. Okay? Might not be your cup of tea, but I would say go over to Drive-Thru RPG and download a free test. Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. I highly recommend it. And most of my focus will be on that, on top of other things, but that's the one for me. I trust the people to always come out with something that I'm going to enjoy. Yes, I am that type of junkie. I've backed every Kickstarter that they have. No, it doesn't have to be leather bound, but it does have to fall within my interest. And most of the time it does. That's it for me, Aaron. And now a word from our sponsor.
Well, hello there, my beauty. Look who finally decided to show up. I've been waiting for you for, well, baby, I'm not sure how long I've been waiting. But that's not important. The fact is, baby, you're finally here. And tonight, my love, you'll be my fantasy companion. Let's get started. Oh, baby. Oh, no, baby. Well, baby, I don't know what to say. I swear that has never happened to me before. But don't you worry, baby. I'm just gonna take a nap for a while, and then maybe we'll get back to you. Feel free to watch a movie or read a book or something, baby.
We're back, and it's now my turn. So
Hope you enjoyed that. Sip a cold beverage. Use a towel. Okay.
all right, so I actually was able to take a break from all my work. And when I did that, I turned on the TV and ended up watching a movie. And this movie kind of put me into the mood for what I want to talk about today. And just so you know, the movie was The Wiz.
Oh, wow.
I haven't watched it in so long, and it just got removed from Tubi, so I'm like, I need to watch it before it goes away. And if you
Okay.
don't know what The Wiz is, it is a beautifully done, perfectly creepy, and amazing version of The Wizard of Oz with an all black cast, all amazing singers. I was about to say the great Lena Horne as the Good Witch, but I'm like, how many people watching this even know who Lena Horne is?
Wow, that's going because you're going way back.
Yeah.
The Wiz was big in the early 80s.
Yeah. But it put me in the whimsical, creepy mood. And when, it's
I like that. Whimsical creepy.
it's
Go
whimsical
with that.
creepy. I mean, you watch it and they go from this, like when the Munchkins are introduced, that is so creepy.
Yes.
And then it just
Toto.
becomes
Toto
whimsical.
pulling themselves off the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm just going to say this right now. The subway scene is not whimsically creepy. It is just creepy.
Creepy.
I love the peddler. He's one of my favorite villains. But when I think of whimsically and dark, I think of one movie, one of my all-time favorite movies, and that would be Jim Henson's The Labyrinth. And I mentioned it in episode 1, and I think
Yes.
it's time to start talking about my favorite game, Labyrinth the Adventure Game. And I just want everyone to look at this book right now. It is a copy of the movie book. It's much bigger, but this is the type of love they put into this game. Now, I mentioned that it can be its own RPG. It can be its own fast-paced, kind of like a dungeon crawl board game type deal. Or
Right.
you can make it a module and add it to any game you want to. And I'll go in a little bit about how that is possible. But if you love a game that's incredibly simple, this is it. It is a straight out D6 system. You only ever need one D6. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, there's actually a pocket in the book that contains two D6. Yes, there is an actual pocket in here.
There's a pocket in a book. A pocketbook. Yes.
Right there. Yeah, because
That's
of
amazing.
this does not have many rules in it. Like, you can fight people in this game. Hell, you can drive a goblin mech in this game. But there's no rules for combat. It is straightforward. However, the Goblin King, which is what they call the game runner, how they feel the game should go. If you get a 6, it's an automatic victory. If you get a 1, it's an automatic loss. And all the D6s are based completely on just a skill check. And and this is the interesting part. If you have any trait that could enhance your skills, say like, okay, you're going to do an investigation. Oh, wait, you have a trait that makes you a very curious person? Okay, roll 2d6s instead of 1 and pick the highest. So it's a very simplistic system, and you can just remove that system and put it into whatever game you want, and it still perfectly works. That's
All right.
how simple they've made this thing, so you can just add it into anything. And I'm going to put it down before I fling it at my microphone by accident. Uh, but it is incredibly simple. Now, for actual character creation, it's one of the most simplistic character creations I've ever seen. Um, I've literally read the chapter on character creation, understood everything about it, and helped someone make a character. Hell, I've helped 5 people make a character for this game in under 5 minutes. And the only reason why it took that long is because everyone had a question that I had to answer one at a time.
Welcome to GMing.
Yeah. Now, for races, yeah, you do have some races in here. And by the way, for anyone who's listened to Alan say races had a very negative connotation recently, that was because D&D started using the term sub races. Yeah, that didn't work out as well as they thought it would, and it kind of ruined everything. That's why they've now learned and started using lineages. Sub races is not what they thought it was. So for the races in this game, I'll just go over them quickly. You got the dwarves, goblins, the fireys. If you're a fan of the movie, you can be a fiery and detach your limbs. But be careful, you might lose them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
What?
The wife played a fiery in our first game and used the dismembering limbs ability to solve some puzzles. It was great. But you can be a goblin, a human, a knight of yore. If you wonder what, oh no, sorry, a knight of yore. A knight of yore is Sir Didymus. They are small animal people that ride different animals, and you get to choose what animal you ride and all of that. You got the horned beast, which is Bluto. You have, and I'm not kidding, the worms.
The worms. Oh. Oh, wow.
And those are the races. There's no ability score modifiers with them. There's no ability scores. It's just traits and skills. Now,
so it's for a role-playing experience. That's what that is.
Yes.
It's for a complete role-playing experience.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And as I said, you can add so much role-playing into this game. Now, how you complete it is incredibly simple. Much like the movie, you have 13 hours to complete the labyrinth, in-game hours. There will be a time tracker, and of course, you create reasons of why. I've used the reason of the Goblin King was angry at someone, and now they have to complete the labyrinth or they lose something. Other times, he's running a contest where the winner will receive a wish if they make it to the center. However you want to do it. It is divided into 5 sections. And now I should say, and this is something that is a complete nuance, a labyrinth is not a maze. Mazes have twists and turns and dead ends. A labyrinth will always lead to the center, but it's made in a way that is very confusing, so you have to navigate it without feeling like you're lost. So, the reason why I bring that up is because it's actually very important to the story, but to this book, it's not. I just love talking about that movie. Nerd. So, how do you progress through the labyrinth? Well, that's simple. At the every single room, I'm using parentheses around that. Every single room you have to complete something. Sometimes it will be a puzzle, sometimes it will be a little bit of a role-playing scenario. Other times it's combat. Like I said, goblin mechs. It's an entire section of this is goblin mechs. Once you complete it, one of the players, and you can have up to 1 player. That's it. Like the least you can do is 1 player and 1 Goblin King, and you can go up from there. It's a great game to play with just 1 person. Once the room is complete, you roll a d6. Take that number, add it to the room you were just in. That's the next room you end up in. And between that, they have pages of tables for each area that you can add role play encounters, combat encounters, items found on the way there, all different charts ready to go in each section. That's where you add a lot of the role play elements in, and it's incredibly fun because you can make it so the role play elements don't really affect the overall game. They're just there to break up the monotony of the constant puzzles and challenges that you have to face. Once you get out of a section, there are multiple ways into the next section. There are dead ends. And when you get to the dead end, or like the oubliette from the movie, you lose an hour. You have to progress the story. Sometimes you'll do things that will give you an hour back. Other times you could lose 2 hours. If you come to a room that you cannot complete the puzzle, because sometimes, let's say Alan is playing a worm. The puzzle is you have to unlock a giant door, and there is a giant key. Only a few characters have the physical capabilities of lifting that key by themselves. A worm is literally, like from the movie, it's like 2 inches long. It is a tiny classification of creature in D&D. Alan can't do that. Not only that, but Alan, the worms do not have any special traits that would allow them to get past this lock, except of course for the climbing trait, but that would be up to the Goblin King themselves.
Okay.
But Alan can't make it past this puzzle. Okay, backtrack. Go back to the previous room, re-roll the d6. Oh, you lost an hour because you had to backtrack. There is always a way to get around a puzzle, but sometimes it can be a bit difficult for one person. Like a fire, that one I just described. My wife played a fiery, disassembled herself, and turned herself into a massive key because fieries can do that. Unlock the door. A worm could easily get over the wall, but
Right.
everyone else, they either would have to work together to lift the massive key, or one of them would have to be a horned beast, which is Bluto, lift it up. Oh, and by the way, yes, all horned beasts have different abilities. They can control things. You can even pick up NPCs along the way, like that are horned beasts that get their own different abilities. The horned beast table for NPCs is different from the horned beast table for players. Uh, my wife got a horned beast NPC that could control books and faced off against Jareth in the library. It didn't end
now,
well for Jareth.
now, what does a player get if he does a perfect rendition of Magic Dance wearing the wig?
That is up
That's
to the Goblin King. And yes, for anyone who's wondering, there are some of these rooms are actual scenes from the movie. Like you'll run into the old man with the hat. You'll run into the guys with the piranha-like creatures on the stick. You'll run into all of the movie characters. And because of the randomization of what rooms you go to, I've played it multiple times, and only ever once have I gotten a scene in each game from a different point in the movie. The first one, the old man in the hat showed up. The second one never showed up, but I can't remember what it was. There was a scene from the movie that showed up, and only a few of us actually had seen the movie, so we knew this scene. This was a game that introduced multiple people to this movie. But so it's completely random, and every single room is different. The challenges are a bit different. It could be role play, it could be a rhyming game, it could be a puzzle. It's
you don't you can't get through the 80s without the Labyrinth. If you want 80s, Labyrinth is it.
oh yeah.
It's it.
But as I've said, this is probably the most simple book to learn a game from. and it's the most simple game. And it doesn't have to be simple. You can completely customize this. And that's why I love this game so much. Like, there are literal pages in each section that talk about, like, I just opened it up to the hedge maze. So we have random table for dressing. Like, what's the hedge mage look like? So here's the dressing for it. Then you have random encounters. Then you have the atmosphere itself for what's going on. Like, atmosphere, there's a light rain happening right now. But let's look at the encounters for the hedge maze. You have two knights of yore politely arguing over the finer points of chivalry. A night troll ambushing a goblin patrol. If you, for you who don't know what a night troll is, this is something that's not mentioned in the movie. It's mentioned in the like the comics, the manga. Bluto is a horned beast. That is a troll. A night troll looks exactly like Bluto, but they don't have any powers whatsoever. They're just big and mean creatures. So right there, number 2 on, first off, you had to roll a d6, which if you get 1 through 3, you're on chart 1. If you get 4 through 6, you're on chart 2. But first one is a role-playing encounter. Second one is a straight-up fight happening. Then you have a goblin squad setting up traps. Is this going to be an encounter, or are you going to do some role-playing to get around them? Then you got dwarves digging a big hole. Fairies attacking a lone goblin who is thrashing at them ineffectively. And finally, dwarves cutting a door into a hedge. That's just 6 of the 12 different encounters that you can have in the hedge maze. And you can create your own with this.
About how long is the game?
Well, that's the thing. How long do you want it to be? I have run it multiple ways, and base game, no role play whatsoever outside of the actual rooms when an NPC shows up. It is about 4 hours long.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Oh yeah, no role play, just straight the puzzles, the challenges, and the role play in the rooms. No special encounters or anything like that.
Okay, how many people at a time can play?
That actually is a good question since I can't remember. When I did it, the most I have ever played with was 6 people.
Okay. Is 6 pushing it, or is it comfortable with just 6?
6 doesn't push it.
6 doesn't push it. Okay.
Yeah. Because as I said, remember, combat, if combat happens, it's this. It's just a d6, and there's no damage. There's no health. So it's up to, how I do it is, okay, roll. The number you roll will determine if you get a 6, you're knocking the goblin out.
Okay.
But if you don't get a 6, if you get a 4 or 5, that goblin's getting hit, but it's just going to be weakened. You get a 3 or lower, it's not happening, and you get a 1, something might happen to you.
Okay.
But because it's not a mathematical game, because you don't have multiple actions, everything is more streamlined and quicker. Now, I should say, with one person, I did a moderate role play. So there were, between the rooms, there was a chance encounters could happen, and NPCs got picked up, and fights happened. You want to know how long that took?
Yeah.
4 hours. For one person with a bunch of role play going on. It is however long you want it to be. This is an afternoon game, or it's a campaign. However you want to make it.
That's
Now,
interesting.
yeah, I should tell you, the final section, this is where the game just goes completely different. The 4 first sections, let me read what they are, because I can only remember what they call a couple of them. Because they never mention this in the game. In the movie. The first one is the stone walls. Now, if you've watched The Labyrinth, you're going to automatically realize what I'm talking about. Then you have the
Yeah.
Hedge Maze, the Land of Yore, which is also where the Bog of Eternal Stench is.
Yes. Oh,
It's in here, and you can save some people, or you might end up getting in there. You have the Goblin City, and then finally you have the castle. The castle is where the game changes dramatically because now it's a chase. You gotta corner Jareth because the second you corner him, the game's over. You've officially won the challenge. Now, in this book, they do suggest that whoever catches them gets to make a wish. And it literally is a rule in here that if the person says, I'm the Goblin King now, they have to run the next game.
ooh, ooh. That's almost solves the forever GM problem.
Exactly. And as I said, because it's so simple and easy, you can just pick it up incredibly fast and change the game to your liking. But I mean, I'm looking in the toolkit right now. You can have, okay, you want a random knight to show up? Okay, you roll a d6. I've rolled a 1. Your knight's name is Lady Ophelia. Roll another d6. They have a hook hand and a mace. Roll another d6. Their oath is to never surrender. All right, now roll another d6. Their mount's name is Yahtzee. Next d6. They're riding a miniature horse. And next d6, the miniature horse is completely deaf.
Okay.
It's you can make anything randomized in this game, so there's literally no work. Just roll a couple d6s, pick those numbers up, and correlate them to what you want.
Who makes this game?
This is done by River Horse Games.
Okay.
They have the Jim Henson license, so they make all types of Jim Henson games. They've made a Labyrinth board game as well. And eventually I will talk about this because it's downstairs. Dark Crystal, the RPG. And it's a beautiful book, and it has a full map of the world in it.
Why would you tell me that? I'm now envisioning running a Dark Crystal RPG, Savage Worlds. Dark Crystal, Savage Worlds, I can do it. Wow.
Yeah. But
I'm
there's
glad.
also random encounters table that you can just throw anywhere without actually going, hey, I don't like any of the random encounters from the hedge maze. Let's go to here. Roll 2d6s and just you put the numbers together. So if you roll 2 1s, it's an 11. You roll 2 6s, it's a 66. And that's
Okay.
your random encounter. And you can have worms racing each other, goblins painting graffiti, just all different types of stuff. You can get potions that last for an hour to do different things. Hey, look, random items like a 300 feet of twine, a large gong. Like it's just random stuff. And you'll pick this stuff up as you go along in the book as well. But this whole thing is just so much fun, and you can do so much with it. And every single creature from the movie has a section, a small little blurb about them in the book. The false alarms, the fairies, the fireys, even the little eye liches that are on the walls that are spying, and more creatures that have appeared in the manga, the comic books, and the novels. Because there's actually been several comic books, novels, and mangas.
The mangas, that's interesting. About how long do the mangas go for? How many issues?
Let's see. The Return to the Labyrinth, which was the big one, which happened like Toby was like 12 at that point and Sarah was in college. I think it ran for 6 issues. and it was effectively talking about why Jareth was so lonely. And then they did Coronation, which was a comic book series that was about 6 or 7 issues, which was the origin of Jareth and where he came from. But they've done a bunch of different stuff, and there's so much lore, and this book has all of it mentioned, including the Owl King, who was the person Jareth took over for. He was the original Goblin King that Jareth dethroned and took his place, which is talked about in Coronation. But this is just, I love this game because of what you can do with it. It's for any age. If you don't know what Labyrinth is, kids will love this. If you do know what Labyrinth is, you're going to be living the movie. And I just saw the movie on the big screen for its 40th anniversary like a month ago. Amazing. I'm very happy no one showed up in cosplay, but a lot of people showed up with stuffed animals that of the different creatures.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
it is.
That sounds fun. I'm glad you brought that little piece out. That's fantastic.
It's a great game. Hell, maybe one day we'll do an actual play of it and put it on here. Like,
You talk like I got free time.
Also,
Dude,
for anyone who's interested in this game, go to riverhorse.com right now. They have every room as a digital PDF. So that way you have the maps for it. You don't have any of the scenarios for the room, but you have the room. So you can instantly share it over Discord or whatever you use. They have the free player character sheet that's incredibly simple to make out. And they have the Goblin King character sheet with the 13-hour time tracker on it. Like, it is simple, it's easy, it's supported by them, and you can add it to any game if you don't want to play it by itself. But if you do want to play it by itself, you'll learn it in less than a minute, and you'll have hours of fun with it.
Broad claim.
What'd you say?
That's a broad claim. That's a very broad claim. Learn it in a minute. You can learn it in a minute. I possibly can learn it in 3 minutes if I'm not distracted by leather-bound books.
Well, here, I'll just, for a little bit, I'll show you something, or I'll talk about something with character creation. If I can find the characters all of a sudden. I kept opening beforehand, now I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, you want to play a worm? You have the trait very small and wall climbing. That's it. Those are your traits. No skills really. Well, there are skills. You pick some traits, you pick some flaws. Oh yes, there are flaws in this game as well that could change how you do things. You can add phobias and all of that, and then you, of course, for the skills, you can be things you're bad at. You can be forgetful, so now you're role-playing someone forgetful, or you could be a little too selfish. Maybe you're good at lifting and pushing things, so that's a skill for you. It's quick, it's easy, there's not much to read. There you go.
Okay.
Like pushing and lifting. That's it. There's no like, this is what you have to do. No, it's literally you can push and lift.
One-line descriptions. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the game. And like I said, if anyone is ever interested, throw it in the comments. And maybe I can get some people to do an actual play for us. Maybe we can get Alan in there. Might accidentally sing a few songs, knowing him. That might get us copyright struck if we ever get monetized.
Possibly.
Oh, if you just change it slightly, it's automatically a tribute, and you don't get stuck. You don't get in trouble.
Okay.
But yeah, that is what I wanted to talk about.
Nice. Labyrinth. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you for joining us. Please give us commentary. We'll always take feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, who's the tech genius of us here, will have links below for you. I also would like to thank some of our sponsors. One is Puma's Rest in Circleville, James Ritker's shop. Information will be on the bottom of the page. If you need a game, he can get it for you. And pretty righteous guy. That was it for me.
Once more, as Alan said, help us feed the algorithm, because right now, if you were to Google search us, you ain't gonna find us. YouTube search us. YouTube doesn't like us right now because we're small potatoes. Like, if you want to know anything about YouTube, let me tell you this: the algorithm is a monster, and if you want to even be noticed, not even get monetized, you got to feed the algorithm. And how do you feed the algorithm? You guys have to like and subscribe. You have to comment, even if it's just a smiley face. That feeds the algorithm. If you share it, it feeds the algorithm. And let me just tell you, word of mouth is how this is going to grow, because that's how all these type of things grow. People are like, dude, you got to listen to these two nerds. They just talk about games all the time. Hey, I just watched this show about tabletop games and someone mentioned a game called The Labyrinth. I think this might be good to teach the kids. Watch the episode and tell me what you think. All of that helps us immensely. So please show us to people. We are old bastards who play games, and I just spent a lot of time talking about the Wiz and the Labyrinth. How old am I? You can't figure that out at this point.
I was born in 1965.
I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember the Wiz and the Labyrinth. But seriously, show us to people who are old nerds. Show us to people who are young nerds so they can make fun of us because we're old men at this point.
That's right.
But please, like, share, comment, help us grow and support this little adventure we're currently on. But most importantly, thank you for watching us right now, giving us that view. It means a lot. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Help a brother out. Oh, my retirement is I'm going to die in my chair at work. Anyways,
so is everyone else at this point.
So is everyone else at this point. Okay. Well, love to everybody. Take care of yourselves and join us possibly a week from now for another episode of Beards and Games with Aaron and Alan.
If I get some sleep, yeah, we'll see you in a week. If not, we might not see you in a week.
Oh, just go to sleep during the casting. Okay, anyway. We'll grade the snores.
All right, everyone.
Thank you
for joining us again. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.